with Tony Khan reacting to Vince McMahon not seeing AEW as competition, and Lio Rush talking about squashing his beef with Mark Henry. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for October 12th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Known in WWE as Killian Dain, Big Damo was looking to make a splash in the wrestling world after being released in June. On Busted Open Radio, he mentioned that he's been in talks with many promotions. Well, I can't give the game away completely, but I've been in contact with almost everybody. That's probably the best way I can kind of put it. Honestly, my goal for the next year minimum is to try and get everywhere, wrestle everybody that I possibly can. I'm fit, I'm healthy, and I'm raring to go. I'm at that position in my life. I'm 36. I've been blessed with how my career has went so far, but now I want to get out there and do everything I possibly can before I can't. Honestly, the best way I can answer is that first, I'm gonna get back to Europe. As I said, I've been waiting to see my family, and I want to try to pay it forward to the guys who are back there right now, because a lot of people helped me get to this level, and I want to be able to try and give it back a little bit first, and then I'm gonna do my very best to get all across the nation here as best I can. With many thinking a non-WWE company could not sell out a 10,000 person arena, AEW proved that theory wrong with their All-In event in 2018. Former WWE star Chelsea Green wrestled during the show, as she noted on her Green with Envy podcast that those signed to WWE were not allowed to attend. After All-In, you'd think there would have been a huge after party or something, but there really wasn't. We all kind of hung around backstage for a bit, hugged each other, I don't know, shared in this crazy, once-in-a-lifetime experience, but we didn't really party. The top guys went out for dinner, and I went back to my hotel room and ordered Uber Eats and hung out, which is a perfect night for me. So I sat in my room, ate my Uber Eats, and read Twitter and went to bed. I will say that I really wish Matt Cardona had been able to go. Everyone at WWE who had a spouse or a partner that was on All In got a text the week or two out from talent relations at WWE saying they were not allowed to be at All In. So originally, of course, Matt and people like Deanna and Adam Cole, so many people were going to be at All In, just backstage watching us. And when they sent that text, I mean, it was way too risky for any of them to be there, especially after being told not to. It was such a bummer, but it still feels like yesterday when I came back from my match to hundreds of texts from Matt saying how awesome it was. I actually could cry thinking about it all. Speaking of All In, there, Chelsea Green had a match against Tessa Blanchard, as Green revealed on her podcast that she suspected that Blanchard was attempting to intimidate her and others. We didn't know who was winning the match until the day of All In. Until the afternoon, actually. Tessa, who was in her match, brought her Impact title to the show and tried to come out with it. In my mind, it was a way to look better than all of us. Bringing out a title, being the only person to come to the ring with a title, the fans are obviously immediately going to put you above the rest. Also, I feel like she did it because she knew that if she came out with the title, she couldn't lose the title on the show. She couldn't lose the title on a show that wasn't Impact Wrestling. At that time, there was no way that would happen. Nowadays, the door is open. Anyone can wrestle anywhere, and anyone can win or lose anytime in any company. A couple of years ago, that wouldn't happen. After not re-signing with WWE and ending his stint on NXT, Adam Cole quickly made the jump to AEW as he finds himself reunited with his friends in the Elite. Now his old faction mate from the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish, has also made the move to AEW. Speaking at New York Comic Con, Cole revealed he is not ready to invite Fish to join the Elite. The last time I was around Bobby Fish, things with my former group didn't end so well. I'm not sure we're on the best terms. However, I am very happy that he's in AEW. Hope everybody else too. We'll see if it gets to the point where we invite him into the Elite. I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for that yet. Bobby Fish noted in a previous interview that he's happy to see Cole in AEW, as he looks set to take on Bryan Danielson this week on Dynamite. After relinquishing her Raw Women's title in May of last year due to pregnancy, Becky Lynch made her shocking return at SummerSlam where she replaced Carmella to challenge SmackDown Women's champ Bianca Belair. Lynch made quick work of Belair winning the title in a matter of seconds. On the Out of Character podcast, Lynch touched on her squash of the former champion. That's a great rivalry. We like both of these guys. How do we make them not like one of them? She's a company girl, let's do this quick. I know a lot of people were upset, oh, if they were going to do this, they should have had a long match. Well, if we had a long match and then I beat her, then I just beat her. That's not good. That's not good for her. But if she's robbed and we take something from her and she doesn't expect it, then we want to see her succeed? Oh, we want to see her succeed. It was previously reported that this decision was not only a last-minute Vince McMahon call, but Becky Lynch was the one who requested to be a heel. Now she looks set to defend her title against Belair and Sasha Banks in a triple threat match at Crown Jewel on the 21st. Over the past 2 years, AEW has grown into a force to be reckoned with as they consistently defeated NXT during the Wednesday Night Wars and are now even sometimes beating Raw in the 18 to 49 demographic. During the Q2 earnings call for this year, Vince McMahon made it clear that he does not consider AEW competition. I don't consider them competition in the way that I would consider WCW back in the day, not anywhere near close to that. And I'm not so sure what their investments are as far as their talent is concerned, but perhaps we can give them some more. Speaking to DAZN, AEW President Tony Khan reacted to McMahon's assessment. Do they see us as rivals or competition? They say we're not, but I've heard that AEW shows are on the monitors in the gorilla position over there, so I take that as a compliment if they're watching us whilst trying to run their own show. I also admire them for that because trying to run a show whilst watching another show is something else. I put everything into producing our shows, so there's no way I'd be watching something else whilst trying to get on with things. With SmackDown airing on FS1 this week due to the MLB playoffs, the show will be an extra half hour, as those last 30 minutes will be commercial free going head to head with AEW Rampage. Former TNT champion Darby Allin spoke during the New York Comic Con as he made it known that he has no interest in the world title but is laser focused on getting his belt back. Out of all of those matches, I can say it was probably the one I lost to Miro. It was lots of fun, but it was during the pandemic. I was having the best matches in my career, and long story short, I'd like to run that back in front of a live crowd. We'll continue to show everybody why that championship is the most important in AEW. Everyone is like, I can't wait until you become world champion. I don't care about that. Give me that TNT championship. While it's been a long road to the top, Biggie has finally reached the pinnacle, becoming WWE Champion. Speaking to The Independent, he recalled a low point in his career when he was feuding with Bad News Barrett. I was in a program with Bad News Barrett. He was super over and had that scissor lift and was getting great reactions. The night that I dropped the title, I was blowing my comeback and getting booed. And as a babyface, that's the worst. When you've got your heel rocking and rolling and you're getting booed, oh no, things have gone awry. Of course, Biggie is getting nothing but a positive reception from fans now, with him set to defend his title against Drew McIntyre at Crown Jewel. In that same interview, Big E spoke about the belief that he needs to change himself in order to be successful. I never want to lose myself to fit a certain mold or to feel like I need to be less nice to be a champion or a locker room leader. If that's what it takes to be successful in this industry, that's an industry I don't need to be a part of. It is vitally important to me to be a human being I can be proud of and be the kind of person I want to be. Having one of the most dominant NXT UK title reigns, Walter looks to have an incredible future ahead of him in wrestling. Talking about the longest reigning champion in modern WWE, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast that he was excited at the prospect of WWE and AEW going head to head. It's definitely going to show whose eyes are on the product this weekend. Competition, that's what I said before, is good. For WWE to say, hey, we're going to run an extra 30 minutes to show these guys what's up, that's a bold step as well. I don't think WWE is going to be backing backing down anytime soon from AEW. I just don't see that. I think bumping it up and bringing in the big guns is nothing that WWE is not familiar with. Let's get ready to rumble. It's going to be many more nights like this. It's time to get Walter over here. Like I said, I'm an international guy. I need the international people. A guy like Walter will beat up everybody in the AEW roster. I know everybody's going to get mad at me. With Walter previously stating he is not sure about going to Raw or SmackDown, he may have to go to AEW to knock them down a peg. Despite having issues in the past with Rush claiming Henry was putting down African American talent and Henry saying Rush lied to him while they were in WWE, Lio Rush talked about his relationship with Mark Henry, saying this to Renee Paquette. Me and Mark Henry's relationship is super cordial now. I think it came down to two very strong personalities in two very different eras of wrestling, and we agreed to disagree. We're about to be working together now, and AEW is such an incredible place to be. It would be foolish of us to carry on any kind of whatever it was, as it was pretty random and wild. Lio also talked about his first meeting with Tony Khan. The first time I met Tony Khan, I was walking backstage trying to meet him for the first time, and somebody told me he was in his office. I'll never forget, it was like a movie scene. I open up the door a little and I see Tony. I open up more and I see Mark Henry. I'm like, of all times, why now? But I'm glad it happened that way because Tony knew about the issues we had together, and he said we should probably talk it out, which we all agreed. We talked a little that night, and I saw him again the other week. It was me coming down the hotel elevator, and there's Mark Henry just solo. I'm like, alright, great. We started talking, and later on in the night, we figured we should take a picture because it was a pretty cool thing itself. Just that we were able to have a conversation, and I thought it would be cool for everyone to know that we had that conversation and squashed it. With Bray Wyatt's WWE non-compete clause set to expire on the 29th, many are wondering where he'll end up. On WFAN's Moose and Maggie, Tony Khan talked about Bray Wyatt potentially debuting for AEW. He's a great wrestler, and I gotta be honest, we haven't really talked at all. I've known him in personal life, and I've gotten to spend a little bit of time with him, but as far as that, we haven't talked. I saw a bunch of rumors, but that's not somebody anybody's really talked about. I think you never know. Of course, Impact Wrestling is also interested in signing Wyatt, as we hope to see him back in action soon. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.